That's my thought process.
I feel, as a man with much knowledge of the occult, Lord Skurlock certainly would have knowledge about how to protect himself from these sorts of things, considering he seems to be very engaged in criminal pursuits for these sorts of artifacts. So he would be foolish not to have plans to deal with these eventualities when things like demons or ghosts arise.
But do we expect Lord Skurlock to extend such protections and information to us?
I do.
I mean, if we...
Would he not just say, deal with it yourself?
If we present ourselves as...
I don't think so.
His top go-getters of procuring his items that he wants...
He would want to protect
then
that
he would want us around.
I feel like
he certainly want to protect his top earners, basically.
I feel like he's also... He realizes our talent. And I feel that he would know if he would betray us, and if any of us were to survive, that would not necessarily be a good thing for him.
Plus, by the way, once we hand over this artifact over to him, they should really just not bother with us anymore. We've handed over the thing that they desire to a new person. So,
maybe.
What
you seemed pretty pissed off that I wouldn't hand it over immediately. But I did tell him that we would consider it and contact him.
But isn't what's his face out there like right now waiting for it?
The demon, yeah.
No.
Oh,
this is a flashback.
Yeah,
we flash back from the scene where you guys were talking to Myron.
All right.
Yeah,
for dramatic effect.
Oh, gotcha. Because I'm figuring if we can just unload it really quickly, then demon's like, oh, we're gonna come and like tear you apart for not giving us our spider webbing. It's like we were discussing it, and the guy came and took it.
There was nothing we could do.
Yeah.
We're no match for Lord.
When are we handing this off to Skurlock?
He beat us
today.
up.
We are handing off to him today.
Later tonight.
Yeah, we could hand it probably tomorrow, because I imagine this happens right after you talk to the spider dude, spider demon. So probably tomorrow, late afternoon or early
late morning
afternoon. Yeah, late morning is when Myron's coming by. So it's happening fast.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm going to start cleaning.
We should
all
definitely
the spider webs out.
We should definitely keep watch tonight in case the spider has trailed us, attacks us.
I organize a cleanup team to clean all the spider webs in this room.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
I thought you were gonna murder a whole
it.
bunch of kids and then like have them be ready to like clean up.
Like everybody's staying later tonight.
All right.
We are getting rid of all webbing. We are getting rid of all spiders.
Oh my god, this sounds horrible.
I love spiders though.
That's
you can take them home with you if you'd like.
That's actually really interesting because that means Caelin, despite her protests against Marco's claims, kind of buys this a little bit.
Oh yeah, right?
What is it with Caelin? Why is she doing this?
Okay,
it seems like a small action that kind of helps along with the process of like, hey, you brought this to my attention and I'm like turning you down, but I'm at least making this effort.
Well, what do you think, Ryan? What is it?
Yeah, here's my whole thing is that she feels that we might have met a weird. You might have met like a weird spidery person, but I don't think it's a demon.
The guy's feet were literally like a column of spider
I don't
webbing,
believe you.
And he was pulled violently into the alley, and I saw
I don't believe you. I just feel like I've spent too much time around spiders and spider webs, and I'm disgusted, and I want to clean everything up.
Point of information.
Right.
I want this thing gone.
I've never made up stories.
I want all the spider stuff gone.
Just
no, I believe you.
Are
I also
demons
don't
common knowledge in Doskvol?
Yes.
Okay,
they are
everybody believes they're normally existing. So
I've
Caitlin's
never heard of
non-belief of
spider
demons is
demon.
unusual.
No, well, here's the thing. So they're phantasms. So it's like oh yeah, demons exist, but nobody ever sees one. You know, they're boogeymen.
They're like historical demons.
Yes. Yeah.
There's like ones that have been talked about before. And there's stories about ones, and there's like historically there were accurate account.
But today, seeing one is like it's exactly what if he walked into a pub and told this story. What Caelin's doing is exactly what would happen. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, sure you did."
Yeah, you
Okay.
saying you saw one demon, I'm like, oh, okay. You saying you saw 2 demons, I'm like, you just want attention. With
That combined with the fact that there actually are like
The burglar
demons and
who
secret
cried
societies
demon.
that
Right.
operate throughout the city
Yeah.
creates this. They want to create that atmosphere of no, of course we know it exists.
Right.
So.
Gotcha.
So
I-
it's like I just am disgusted by like dealing with all the spider shit.
Yeah, I think we follow
Okay.
her initiative to clean up the spiders, and then whatever happens.
I guess, like,
until
Myron
next day,
comes-
happens till next
Yeah.
day.
All right, so you guys are clean. So we'll flash back now to
Yes.
Myron being there.
The new sparkly clean shop.
So he's admiring this shop and he's like, oh, it's rather
He's Myron.
clean in here, spick and span. I appreciate that. Anyway, I believe you have something for me. Like he's like distracted by it, right? He's like, oh wow, it's actually clean in here. He has that.
You're
he
just
has-
like,
Yeah.
he has that air of like haughtiness about
I
him.
feel like
you're
it's
like,
a
are you
very
saying it
strong
wasn't
critique
before?
to
Okay.
how it was before.
I don't-
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
I-
for working out of an abandoned mansion.
He's totally nagging you.
I don't say this.
Yeah.
I don't say this out loud.
He doesn't live there or work there.
I don't say this out loud, but I'm wondering whether or not it would be good for us to bring this whole demon thing
I
to
think it is.
his attention. So yes, we procured what you asked of us, but not without at least one person noticing. Well, I shouldn't even say person. Marco, you should tell him about what you encountered.
Sure, I was followed by what appeared to be a normal-looking man, but at this point we believe that he is some sort of demon, and he demanded us that we hand over the 7-legged weaver.
But we didn't.
Because we're scared of you.
No.
No.
Just Penelope just interject with that because we're scared of you, and everybody's like,
Because we respect our business associates.
Yeah, we've already made a deal with Lord Skurlock.
And we would like our fruitful
When he
relationship to
says that,
continue.
A demon is not going to interrupt our business deal.
I think-
but
yes.
Or something that claims to be one.
we would like to alert you to this circumstance, and perhaps inquire what we should do to protect ourselves from
so Myron
perhaps retaliation.
Myron doesn't seem perturbed by this at all. Like you think
Like
normally
they
he'd be
knew
like,
that
"What?"
this was going to
Yeah.
happen.
That's oddly comforting.
They
to
knew
me.
who they were stealing this from.
And he pauses for a second, waits, and says, "Yes. Well, you have the bug, of course. Do you guys
Yes,
like present it?
Yeah, we
Yes.
present it to
Right.
him. Yeah.
Of course,
So
in good condition.
He takes it and inspects it, and you notice that he's really looking closely at the webbing, and he looks around it and looks at it. Yes, exquisite, excellent. He turns it. My client will be
Yes,
quite
yes.
pleased. And he tucks it under his arm gingerly, and he says, "I wouldn't worry about this little demon infraction. No problem. We'll take care of it. You just keep doing what you've been doing. We'll be in touch. The next and final object we need you to acquire for us should come up here in another couple of weeks.
Final.
Yes. After this, your business will be concluded. Skurlock will no longer need your services, at least for this venture. In the future, we'll certainly keep your group in mind. You've been a great help to us."
Okay. Certainly, yes.
We're just kind of like,
Oh, it's gonna be over.
that's cool.
Your
I
unpaid.
had other plans
Yeah, we could see
anyways.
other-
Your unpaid
people.
internship does not turn into a job. your 6 months are now over.
You have not been rehired.
You
No,
were
he's
invited to
offering-
the party.
He hasn't. He says you're on the list,
It's
basically.
okay.
You know.
At least he didn't just
I've
ghost
got some
us.
laundry
When-
to do at home anyways.
When Skurlock's like, "I need something stolen," he's like, "Who you gonna call?" You guys are top of the list.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
This last thing that he wants stolen is going to be crazy.
So Myron does this little polite bow and says, "Have a pleasant day, everybody, and excellent work." Oh, and he drops your 4 coin on the counter
For good.
and leaves. He
Bye,
drops his strong
Kirigan.
box. Yeah. So
Pleasure doing business.
I've started a new clock called Skurlock's Favor. It's a 4-count clock.
Ooh.
I'm gonna tick 2 pie pieces on it,
Ooh.
Yeah.
and we'll click that in. Okay.
That demon's going to fuck us up.
What's our next order of business?
We got a museum. We got a mummy to steal.
We have
Yeah.
a tooth
Got a
from a mummy to
Tooth
steal.
to get. All right.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
these mummy's teeth are clearly valuable. We're not going to just steal one tooth. We're going to take a whole bunch in case the next time it's like,
Oh yeah,
You
we're
need to go steal
cleaning
mummy.
Gonna
out
punch
that
the mummy
mummy.
in the mouth
Like,
and collect them
we
all.
already have them available.
Yes.
We're gonna write up dental records and everything.
Play dentist.
So the Museum of Natural Sciences and History in Brightstone is currently putting on a display of old Eruvian mummies and burial techniques.
Ooh.
And Alput Khan is the head emperor mummy on display of that thing. The Dimmer sisters need a tooth from his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Any tooth will do. They were not specific. You guys know if you wanted to hide the theft, probably taking a back molar would be better.
I think hiding the theft would be better.
So this is an
We don't want to be sitting on
Shall
the
we
items.
make a
this
fake
is a exhibition, correct?
Yes, it is an exhibition. You guys know a
People
couple of
check the
things
back
right off
teeth
the
of the
bat
mummy.
about this museum. It's divided into
Make it
three
look
separate
very
wings.
similar.
There's basically an entry
What are they
point
gonna
where
do? Carbon date it?
there's basically an
Like
entry point where
technology?
people walk through the grounds of the museum to get there. That's ringed with rare trees and plants from around Doskvol. It's kind of like their topiary garden area display.
Mm-hmm.
They have
Arboretum.
various arboretum. They have various statues of famous philosophical and scientific minds.
So is this
in
like
that
a
garden.
is this a public place?
Yes, it is a public museum where anybody can go and view the locations. However,
Oh, nice.
due to its exposure in that regard, it's in Brightstone, which is one of the nicer parts of the city, and it also has a constant blue coat detail on it, present at it. Because, as you can imagine, in a city like Doskvol, the museum would be a place a lot of thieves want to break in and steal.
I think we need to go scope it out, but we need to look not like thieves.
Right. Let me finish telling you what you already know.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the museum is divided into three separate wings. There's a main entry point, which is like, the gift shop, the banners hanging from that tells future exhibits, that sort of
Exit
thing.
to the gift shop.
And then after that, there's the central wing, which contains whatever exhibition they're putting on that month or for that series. There's also a donator's room, stuff like that, like a showroom where they can show things off to members of the club. There is the left wing, which details the Leviathan hunters and their whole history in providing power for Doskvol. So there's history about famous Leviathan hunter captains. They have models of some of the famous Leviathan hunter ships, how they actually pull these huge beasts up and siphon their blood out so
It's
it
a
can
cool
power the
place to
city's
be.
lighting
Museum.
thing.
I like museums.
The left wing, which means to say the west wing, is that way, and the east wing deals with the history of Doskvol and a.k.a. itself. There's a couple of exhibits in there dedicated to the Imperial Emperor's rise to power. There's a couple of notes on a.k.a.ian geography, wildlife, that sort of thing. It's kind of like this is our home city, this is who we are as a culture, so let's exemplify that. And then the central wing, of course, as I mentioned before, holds the exhibit they're holding right now, which is the mummies of the Eruvian kingdom, the ancient Eruvian kingdoms. So Alput Khan is the central king in that exhibit. He is going to probably be in the central part of the museum, right above a tall, wide-open glass dome through which you can see the dark, sunless sky at night.
Oh, I wonder how we're gonna get in.
You could get in that way. Blue Coat details regularly patrol the gardens and all three of the wings, and you guys also know that because it's an Eruvian exhibit, there are going to be special protectors from the Eruvian Consulate on site, present at the mummies' coffins day and night to guard them, because these are Eruvian national treasures.
Day and night.
They take stuff like this very seriously. These are their ancestors. They're super serious about it. Any effort to defile these bodies would be seen as a great affront to the Eruvian consulate and Eruvians in general.
Time to go
If
steal
anybody-
some culture.
If anybody in the crew was one, this might be a point of contention, but nobody is. So that's what you know about the museum so far.
Yeah,
Is
screw
the-
their culture.
Is the exhibition currently
take it.
going on?
Yes.
Okay. May I assert that it is very likely that the Arkady house has been patrons of the museum for many, many years,
Absolutely.
and that I should have premier elite status?
Oh yeah, sure thing. Yeah, we could
You
say
should
that.
take us as your guests.
Absolutely.
But
That's
we-
why I was wondering if the exhibit was going on,
But
because
we
usually
have to
before an
look the
exhibit
part.
starts, the wealthy families and members are allowed to a pre-showing.
dress.
Yes,
So-
yes. It's been going on for a while, so that is
Okay.
no longer an option. So let's look at the 6 plans down
Fancy.
below on your sheets and tell me what kind of plan we're going for to get this tooth out.
Well, I think we first need to
We need to scout it out.
Assault.
Okay.
No.
Let's go in, guns a-blazing.
Yeah.
Kill off all the Eruvians. Is it, like, your power that lets you shift into the Ghost Veil, it just works for you, right?
Yes.
And because this is a thing that people can do,
I just
is this something that is shielded against normally? Like,
What would shield against it is lightning barriers.
Okay,
things-
and that's
things
it.
like
So-
I just thought it was
But that
something
just
stupid
means- that just
that I
means that
want
I
to say
can't
out loud, but
pass
it won't,
through
it's not.
lightning
We're not
barriers.
doing it.
Like
Yes.
that's a two-dimensional plane that is created,
Yeah,
and it's not like
sometimes it
It's
can
obvious.
be. Sometimes it can be three-dimensional if they have arc pylons that create like a static field. Yeah,
like a whole area.
yeah. But
That's also really obvious.
yes, it is really obvious, and so the Ghost Veil power is not something that's common in Doskvol.
okay.
Right? It's supposed to be a special thing that players get.
Okay,
The Wraiths
okay.
have it because they have it. You know,
Okay.
there's reasons, but
Do the police know that the Wraiths have it?
probably not. Probably not. I can imagine that the Blue Coats don't have a lot of information about the occult. That's more of a Spirit Warden's area.
And how precise is the power? Like, could Marco shift into the Ghost Veil,
That is
appear right next to the thing, grab a hunk of teeth, and then shift right back into the Ghost Veil and get out before the first shot is fired?
It's not teleportation. It's becoming incorporeal
Right.
to walk through.
Right. that's the
but it's
right.
it's not invisible,
Right.
and it's not.
Because, like,
Can I interact with things?
It should detail it on your sheet there.
I
believe it.
have it. I
says
have it in the book version too, and it really
Well,
doesn't.
I had a
say.
thought.
No,
So
it definitely doesn't say whether
what I was told was
you can
that
interact with other
this
things.
exhibit is only for a limited amount of time, and then
Right.
it's gonna go.
right.
And I'm almost wondering if it would be beneficial
Just read
to get it
Oh, I
at
got it
a
here.
moment
When it's being transported?
when it's being taken down,
Oh.
because there is this day and night surveillance thing, and so we're thinking,
Right.
oh, ghost field, how do we pop up, how do we get past these guards? And I'm thinking to myself, if we get it during some sort of transport,
Huh.
that would cut out a lot of the sort of stealthiness of navigating through the museum.
Yeah, it would make it a lot easier. I
I mean,
that's
it would be kind of like a, you do it, and this is your only opportunity to do it, sort of thing. Like you can't come back another time to try again.
yeah.
So
I mean
if-
that's when
but-
that's the best time to break people out of prison. That's
Yeah.
the best time to steal
Yeah.
In transport.
vans, like tons of gold bars.
That
Yeah.
is that's a good plan. There is the risk. You're
Gonna
right.
be in move.
So you are intangible when you are in ghost form.
Yeah.
So you can't grab
cannot
things or
interact.
touch them.
It turns out that ability is much more complicated. I just read it. It turns out that
It's
you have to pay extra stress to do anything with it. Like, all it does when you just pay the 2 stress initially is for a few moments you just flicker out of existence.
well, that's all I did with
Right. But if you
when I was
try to
stealing
move,
the vial.
if
I
you try
just
to
grabbed
move,
it and then jumped through the wall.
no, that would have cost an extra stress according to the rules. The
Mm,
actual
no.
ability
No.
to move at all.
You may
Good.
float through the air like a ghost, is what you get for
No,
paying
that's
extra
flying.
stress.
That's what it means.
Oh,
Like floating, like off the ground.
Yeah, he dived at the window and then turned intangible and phased through, and then grabbed the bottle and ran.
Okay,
oh,
so
okay.
if everybody is on, well, maybe
So-
I should wait for Ryan. But if we're all on board on like maybe this is a transport mission or a stealth mission that is at the moment where they
Well,
Are
I could just push myself a ton
putting
and
the
become
they're,
invisible.
they're
Yeah.
turning they're tearing the exhibit down and packing it up.
Could we
So-
possibly be good enough to just infiltrate the team itself and just be the truck that takes the thing?
Oh man,
It seems like that. Well, you also have to think if this is
Those
so.
people will have paperwork.
Would the guards also join the transport team?
Maybe. See, the thing is that no matter how high level things are, almost depending on what it is, right? Like, there's always like non-key staffers. It's not like there's always like workers who are not like part of the inner circle. The question is, can we find out enough about whether or not this is one of those things where, oh, this is the holy relic of blah blah blah. Only the 4 high priests of Eruvia are allowed to like be transporters for it, or do they go, oh, we just called like local 492 and like brought in some Teamsters.
No. So yeah, the guards are also specialty handlers of the coffins.
Okay.
And such. It's their duty to protect their ancestors.
Okay, so we couldn't get in on that team. Like that's like
It would be very difficult.
okay.
It would be like we'd have to disguise ourselves as one of them and have that person not be around. That's
Which
the level of.
is a possibility if you wanted to do that.
But that would still.
On transport, I
Yeah,
know.
that would still be dealing with them in some capacity. I don't like that.
It's probably
So-
the time when it's most vulnerable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
transport.
hitting them while they're in transport is a good plan.
Yeah. So I think that this is a transport plan.
Transport plan is when you're transporting something.
Yeah, this would be
So-
a.
Oh.
You're gonna hit them while
would
they're...
either be stealth or assault.
Deception slash stealth.
Yeah, well, it
Because
depends on how you're approaching it. Because they're going to transport it from Brightstone. They're going to take it from there, probably by carriages, to the rail station, Gaddock Rail Station and Night Market. And then it's going to leave Doskvol on the rail station, riding on the train
I have an
to
idea.
Aruvia.
What's
It
your
would be
idea?
easy-
When
Easier-
things get on this train,
Let's see.
do they have people who check the cargo?
Yes, absolutely.
We need to be that person. The person who checks the cargo as it gets on the train. To make sure that, like, when they have a list of things that are supposed to be going on the train.
Uh-huh.
They're going around, they're checking all the cars to make sure it's all there.
You know what I'm excited
The
about?
guards.
do you think that
the
person
guards
would
will
be-
be like over our shoulder, basically.
Wouldn't they?
Yeah, it's like an ancestral thing for them, so they'll be guarding the coffins and transporting them the whole way.
You know what was exciting?
What?
When Ptolemy and Marco delivered me in a box.
Mm.
You know what would be exciting again?
To be in a box.
Yeah.
So we're the transport team. We put you in a box that's already in the truck. We put things into the
I
truck,
know,
and then you
right?
pop out and you
Grab the tooth.
You snag the tooth, and you go back in the box.
Like I could just be under a pile of straw with a little snorkel.
In the.
Delivered the
in
wrong
the
box,
car?
make a replica box, have them switch the boxes up.
And then I pop out when we arrive in the Rubia. Surprise!
We're
Well-
not going to Aruvia.
Because like